Have you ever wondered how Agile methodology came to be the go-to approach for many organizations worldwide? Let's take a trip back in time. Before Agile, traditional project management methodologies were the standard. These methodologies, such as waterfall, followed a linear, sequential approach. Each phase had to be completed before moving on to the next, and there was little room for changes or revisions once a phase was complete. It was like setting out on a long journey with a rigid roadmap and no option to deviate, no matter what unexpected obstacles you might encounter along the way. This rigidity presented several challenges. Projects often ran over budget and beyond their deadlines, and the end product often didn't meet the customer's evolving needs. It was clear that a new, more flexible approach was needed. Enter Agile. The birth of Agile took place at a ski resort in Utah, USA in 2001. 17 software developers met to discuss these challenges and brainstorm solutions. They wanted to create a methodology that put people first, valued collaboration, and welcomed changes even late in development. This gathering resulted in the creation of the Agile Manifesto, a document that would forever change the world of project management. The Agile Manifesto outlined 4 core values and 12 principles, setting the foundation for a variety of Agile methodologies that have since been developed, such as Scrum, Kanban, and Lean. These methodologies share the core values and principles of Agile, but offer different frameworks for implementing them. The impact of the Agile Manifesto and its subsequent methodologies has been immense. It has shifted the focus from rigid planning and strict processes towards a more flexible, people-centered approach. It has made it possible for teams to respond quickly to changes and deliver value to customers faster and more efficiently. And thus, Agile was born, with its own manifesto and principles, ready to revolutionize the world of project management. Now, what exactly is this Agile Manifesto? Glad you asked. Originating from a ski resort in Utah back in 2001, 17 software developers gathered to discuss their ideas and frustrations about the traditional project management methods. This meeting resulted in the creation of the Agile Manifesto, a groundbreaking document that revolutionized the software development industry. The Agile Manifesto is essentially a declaration of 4 core values and 12 principles that guide Agile methodologies. These values and principles set the stage for a more flexible, collaborative, and customer-oriented approach to project management. They challenge the conventional wisdom of the software industry and provide a new roadmap for achieving efficiency and effectiveness. So, what are these 4 core values? Here's a quick rundown. First, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. This value emphasizes the importance of human interaction and teamwork over rigid adherence to tools or systems. Second, we have working software over comprehensive documentation. The Agile Manifesto promotes the idea that working software is a better measure of progress than volumes of documentation. Third, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This value underscores the importance of ongoing collaboration with the customer rather than getting bogged down in contract details. And lastly, responding to change over following a plan. The Agile Manifesto recognizes that change is inevitable, and so it emphasizes flexibility and adaptability over strict adherence to a plan. These values don't suggest that the items on the right have no value, but rather the items on the left are valued more. They are not rules or mandates, but guiding principles that encourage a shift in mindset. These values form the backbone of Agile, emphasizing a more flexible, collaborative approach to project management. They inspire teams to work together, value customer input, prioritize working results, and adapt to change quickly. They are the heart of the Agile way of thinking and working. So whether you're a software developer, a project manager, or a business analyst, understanding these values is key to embracing the Agile mindset and reaping its benefits. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into each of these values in the coming sections. So, the first value of Agile is individuals and interactions over processes and tools. But what does this mean? In the world of Agile, the human element is fundamental. It's about recognizing that the success of any project hinges on the people involved and how they interact, rather than just the processes and tools they use. This doesn't mean that processes and tools aren't important, but rather that they should serve as a support system, not a prescriptive rulebook. Imagine a team of brilliant analysts, each with their unique strengths, working together on a project. They have all the latest tools and a well-defined process. But if they aren't communicating effectively, if they aren't collaborating or understanding each other's perspectives, then all those fancy tools and processes become less effective. Conversely, a team with less sophisticated tools, but with excellent communication, respect for individual input, and a collaborative approach, can often outperform a team that relies heavily on processes and tools. Let's take this to the realm of business analysis. A business analyst using Agile values would place a high emphasis on interactions, on understanding the needs and perspectives of the stakeholders, and on fostering a collaborative environment. They would prioritize face-to-face communication, encourage active participation, and ensure that everyone's voice is heard. Consider a situation where a project is veering off course. A business analyst who values individuals and interactions would actively seek feedback, involve the team in decision-making, and work towards a solution that's agreeable to everyone. They wouldn't just follow a predefined process or use a tool to make corrections. So the first Agile value is not just about valuing people over processes. It's about understanding that the power of human interaction, collaboration, and communication can drive a project forward more effectively than any process or tool ever could. In the end, it's all about balance. Agile doesn't advocate for completely discarding processes and tools. Instead, it promotes a shift in focus towards individuals and their interactions, while using processes and tools to support this focus. Remember, it's the people and their interactions that truly drive a project forward. Moving on to the second Agile value, working software over comprehensive documentation. Sounds controversial, doesn't it? But let's dissect it a bit. The Agile Manifesto doesn't suggest that documentation isn't important. Instead, it places greater emphasis on having a working piece of software. Why is that? Well, traditionally, heaps of time was spent on documenting every possible detail before a single line of code was written. This often led to a long time gap between the start of a project and the delivery of something tangible, something that could be tested and used. Agile flips this around. It promotes the idea of delivering working software early and frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference for the shorter timescale. This allows the team to get immediate feedback, and the product can be refined and improved in real time. It's about delivering value to the customer as soon as possible and adapting along the way. Let's take an example. Imagine you're a business analyst in a team building a new online shopping platform. In a traditional model, you'd probably spend months creating detailed requirements and specifications without seeing any working software. But with Agile, you'd work with the team to identify the most valuable features, like a functional shopping cart or a secure payment system, and get those built first. Then, you'd use the feedback from real users to refine and expand the platform over time. So, in essence, working software over comprehensive documentation is about focusing on delivering something that works and meets the user's needs, rather than getting bogged down in extensive documentation. It's about being flexible and adaptive, not set in stone. It's not that documentation isn't valuable, but it should never become a hindrance to delivering a working product. And remember, it's all about balance. Documentation still has its place in Agile, it just needs to be lean and valuable. It's about creating just enough documentation to be useful without slowing down the process. In Agile, a functioning product is the ultimate measure of progress. Third on the list is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. But why does Agile give it such precedence? In the realm of Agile, this value represents a paradigm shift from traditional project management. Rather than relying solely on a fixed contract as the guiding force, Agile emphasizes the importance of ongoing collaboration with the customer. This approach acknowledges that needs and circumstances can change during the course of a project and allows for the flexibility to adjust accordingly. Let's talk about why this is important. In traditional project management, once a contract is signed, it's set in stone. But what happens when halfway through the project, the customer realizes they need something different? In a contract-bound scenario, changing course can be costly and time-consuming, if not impossible. But with Agile's customer collaboration approach, changes are not only expected, but welcomed. So, how does this value play out in business analysis? Imagine you're working on a new software solution for a client. Rather than delivering a complete product based on an initial contract, you'd work in short sprints, delivering iterations of the product and gathering feedback from the customer after each one. This allows you to incorporate the customer's feedback into the next sprint, ensuring the final product is more closely aligned with their needs. Here's an example. Let's say you're developing a new mobile app for a retail company. After the first sprint, you present a prototype to the customer. They love the design, but realize they also need a feature for customers to leave reviews. In a traditional contract-bound scenario, this would be a problem. But with Agile, you simply incorporate this feedback into your plan for the next sprint. The end result? A product that better meets the customer's needs and a more satisfied customer. This Agile value also fosters a more positive and productive relationship between the team and the customer. It encourages open communication, mutual respect, and shared responsibility for the project's success. So remember, in Agile, the customer is not just a stakeholder who approves or rejects the final product. They're an integral part of the team, actively involved in shaping the project's direction and outcome. In Agile, the customer is a vital part of the team, not just a stakeholder. Finally, the fourth Agile value, responding to change over following a plan. That's quite a departure from traditional methodologies, isn't it? Well, indeed it is. The Agile philosophy encourages us to embrace change, not resist it. This fundamental shift in approach asks us to value adaptability and flexibility over rigid adherence to a preset plan. So what does this really mean? In the world of business analysis, it means that the plan is not the end-all, be-all. The plan is simply a guide, a starting point. It's the roadmap that gets us moving in the right direction, but it's not the destination. The destination can change, and that's okay. To illustrate, let's consider a scenario. Imagine a software development team working on a new app. They've laid out a plan and set to work. Halfway through, they receive user feedback indicating a feature they hadn't considered before. Now, a traditional approach would stick to the plan, maybe even push back the feedback to a later version of the app. But an Agile team, they would welcome the change, adapt their plan, and work on incorporating that feedback right away. This is the essence of the fourth Agile value, responding to change. It's about staying alert, staying flexible, and being ready to pivot when necessary. It's about understanding that what worked yesterday might not work today, and what works today might not work tomorrow. The importance of this value cannot be overstated. In today's fast-paced, ever-changing business landscape, the ability to adapt quickly to changes is key to staying ahead of the curve. It's the difference between being reactive and being proactive. It's the difference between surviving and thriving. This Agile value teaches us that change is not something to be feared or avoided. Instead, it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to innovate, an opportunity to deliver better products, provide better services, and create better experiences for our customers. So remember, when it comes to Agile, it's not about the plan. It's about the ability to respond to change, to welcome it, to embrace it. Because in the world of Agile, change is not a disruption, it's an opportunity. Agile embraces change as a constant, viewing it as an opportunity rather than a disruption. So, we've taken a journey through the Agile Manifesto and its values, but what are the key takeaways? Let's take a moment to reflect on our exploration. We began by delving into the history and evolution of Agile, understanding how it emerged as a response to the limitations of traditional project management methodologies. In the face of rapidly changing technology and market demands, a group of 17 software developers gathered in 2001 to create the Agile Manifesto. This manifesto was a revolutionary step, shifting the focus from rigid processes and tools to a more flexible, human-centered approach. We then moved on to the Agile Manifesto itself, the cornerstone of all Agile methodologies. This manifesto is built on 4 core values that serve as guiding principles for Agile teams. They represent a mindset, a way of thinking that promotes adaptability, collaboration, and customer satisfaction. The first value prioritizes individuals and interactions over processes and tools. This means that while processes and tools have their place, it's the people on the team and how they work together that truly drive a project's success. It's about fostering a collaborative environment where open communication and mutual respect thrive. Next, we explored the value of working software over comprehensive documentation. In Agile, the primary measure of progress is working software. While documentation is important, it should not become a hindrance to delivering a functional product. Agile champions the idea of producing something tangible and useful, something that adds value to the customer right now. Our journey then took us to the third Agile value, customer collaboration over contract negotiation. This value emphasizes the importance of working closely with the customer, involving them in the development process, and continually incorporating their feedback. It's about building relationships and partnerships, not just fulfilling contract obligations. Finally, we discussed responding to change over following a plan. Agile recognizes that change is inevitable and even welcomes it, even late in development. This value encourages teams to remain flexible and responsive, to adapt their plans as needed to deliver the best possible product. In the world of Agile, flexibility, collaboration, and adaptability reign supreme. The Agile Manifesto and its values provide a roadmap for businesses and teams, guiding them towards more efficient and effective project management. It's not just about doing things faster or more efficiently, but about doing the right things, in the right way, at the right time. But remember, Agile is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a mindset, a philosophy. It requires a willingness to change, to learn, and to grow. It's about continual improvement, not just in our products, but in our processes, our teams, and ourselves. In the world of Agile, flexibility, collaboration, and adaptability reign supreme. Remember, it's all about making project management more efficient and effective, one sprint at a time.